afraid of you. You see, at first I felt I deserved nothing, so it's still a little hard to believe this. So perhaps I should do as you suggest and say less, because the sight of you does indeed make me speechless. I love you, but...
Oh.
Wow, man, that dude is poetic even in his sleep. I think if CeeLo was talking in his sleep, it would sound like poetry. I swear to you, since this man first came out back in the mid-'90s to now, all the solo projects, this may be one of the most introspective, honest, transparent people I've met in the business and always been solid since day one. That was a clip from Marriage Boot Camp season 16, which he and his wife Shani are members of. And I cannot say it did not. I wasn't surprised. I have to say it surprised me to see him on it. And then I thought about it and I said, why not? This man has always been open about his. Give it up for CeeLo, ladies and gentlemen. CeeLo is on the show. My man.
Big brother Sway.
How you doing?
Good morning, good people. Good morning.
Good morning to you, King.
Thank you.
First of all, it's just good to hear your voice.
You too.
You know,
we just saw each other recently in L.A.
We were at, I think that was Grammy weekend, was it? Was that Grammy?
Yeah, it was Grammy weekend at the Primary Wave Bob Marley 50th anniversary party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
saw each other for a short minute. It was good to see you.
It was and we kept saying we got to get together, and it was more than because of what we're going to talk about today. It's just we need each other, man. We've known each other for 25 years now, brother, and so
absolutely,
so it's real like that. How are you quarantining? How is that going for you? Or who are you quarantining with?
Johnny, and
okay.
And our little dog, Zoo. He's here too. So, but we're in close communication with just about everybody. We put together a group thread with my almost entire family, and then our extended family in San Francisco, which is Shawnee's family. Mm-hmm. Then we also have a Dungeon family group thread as well. So everybody's been in constant communications and supporting each other where needed, and trying to keep it as normal. Keep it as normal as we can.
Possible. Who all is on that Dungeon family thread? Just shout out some names. Give me the roster.
Oh, everybody's there from Big 3000, Dre. Big 3000, Rico, Sleepy, Ray, Cujo, Big Gib, Timo, KP. Yeah, it's a bunch of us on there.
Okay, damn, man. I thought I was an honorary Dungeon family member. Heather, I'm not on the thread. Damn.
Sway. CeeLo gonna add you today, Sway. Don't worry.
Who's that?
This is Heather.
Heather B. Yeah.
What's up, baby?
OG?
How you doing, family?
I'm good, Queen. I'm good. Good to hear from you too.
You too. Love, always.
Always.
That boot camp, marriage boot camp. Sometimes I wonder if people need a check, or is it a branding, a marketing thing, or you really go there for help? Because we all work in entertainment, and you know how TV shows are. It's a lot of stop and cut. All right, do that again. But I can ask you, man, how real is that?
Well, I'll be transparent in saying it was actually very real. And that's the reason why when they approached us to do it, we initially opted not to, and then they were very adamant about us being a part of it. And then I thought to myself, I said, well, they couldn't have possibly known of what real life event that we were having, and we were at a crossroads and a very pivotal point in our personal lives and relationship, and we had thought that maybe it could use some intervention, and some mediation, and because ultimately at the end of the day we are real people, and there's trial and error, and every relationship there's give and take in every household, in every relationship, and so we thought that this was a way of where people could actually benefit from witnessing the work. And we watched it, so we did our diligence, we did our research, and we felt like the integrity of it was intact. We just thought that it was an opportunity to make ourselves vulnerable in order to get the result. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot more gratifying than we may have assumed. And I'm glad that we did it.
Okay.
We didn't have to do it for the money or for the exposure, but I did think, on a professional level, I did think that it was an opportunity to be perceived and to be seen in a very in a human way. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people think that celebrity, or my assumed stature or assumed celebrity, my particular one, like is above all, or just incapable of flaw, or you know what I mean? So I really wanted people to see, our humanity, and we really needed the help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being really honest and transparent in saying that this particular show, I didn't really consider it a reality show. I thought that we were bringing the reality to it. The real life events, and really seeking the knowledge, the help, you know what I mean, like in the guidance. And and we benefited from it. And so many people have reached out to us, grateful, and that we were able to, show ourselves and reveal ourselves, in such a unselfish way, unpretentious way. And it was great. You know what I mean? To be honest. Yeah. And then when we got there, we were kind of still, at odds, or a little, apprehensive, all the way up until the point of us getting out of the car and walking into the door for the first time. But then when we walked in and cut the corner, and I saw Stiles and Aoki, of whom we, had been friends, and I was like, okay, we'll be cool, because I know Stiles is a no nonsense type of dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? So I felt safe when I saw him, to be totally honest.
You talk about public persona, and it is, people don't realize that a lot of our personas were supported by marketing and branding budgets over the years to create an image many times to help sell a product, but you never claimed to be perfect. You even had a project, CeeLo Green and his perfect imperfections, and so what do you think are some of the misperceptions about you in particular, having been in the public eye so long? And we've seen you go through controversy. We've seen you go through accomplishment. What do you think are some of those biggest misperceptions that doing a show like this help to alleviate, like specifically?
Sometimes people think that you have a PR team, or, you know what I mean? Like your every word, your every thought is scripted, semi-scripted in some regard. People think that, like you have handlers and, assistants and this large staff of people micromanaging you. You know what I'm saying? And some people do. Some people have larger, larger establishments. I'm saying, like, and it takes, it takes that many hands, but I'm just, a regular person, to be honest. But like, there's this great quote from David Bowie that says that they don't pay me to be normal. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and then I've got this duality that comes along with me. You know what I mean? Like, people know me, if they do know me, if they go back that far with me, with Goody Mob, and then there's such a large, gap between, between what I did with Goody Mob and what I did with, let's say Gnarls Barkley, for example. You know what I'm saying? And people just don't, you don't typically see an artist of where, you could be both of those, we could be both of those people effectively, you know what I'm saying, or successfully. And so, like, I think it is unique and strange and peculiar to people. You know what I mean? And I used to be a lot more vocal, as you know, Sway. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things, like, I just have not had the luxury or the liberty to just talk about, because, like, the tangible success of it all, was like such a large demand to supply. So, like, I can honestly say that the quarantine has almost been like a blessing, almost. Like, we could breathe, we could just kind of like unplug and relax and regroup and replenish. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of wear and tear that come along with touring. And especially after 25 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of hard work, and I think a lot of the talent. I think making it look easy, has to be a talent as well. So we try to make it look seamless. We try to make it look effortless. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, I know me, speaking for me, I would love to be an inspiration to people. So it's always been about trying to utilize what my calling or what I felt like my purpose was to inspire people. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like the greatest testimony, first of all, you can't have a testimony without the test. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. You can't have the testimony. You hear that, Heather? You can't have the testimony without the test. That's a gem. I like that.
So that's what was dope about Marriage Boot Camp, though, because people get a chance to bear witness, and they get a chance to read in between the lines and see, and be able to identify with what they feel is real, what they know to be real. You know what I mean? And so we got family members who were kind of really, really apprehensive and doubtful about, nobody wanted to see us play ourselves in any kind of way. But I'm like, nah, this is good. This is really good. People can benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's just a general overview of what I think is assumable about celebrity. Because even with IG, or something like, or those platforms like that, people only put up the pretty pictures of the pretty parts of their life, knowing that you could take 100 selfies before you commit to just one. You know what I'm saying? So, very seldom do people, feel like they can teach from their humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like people feel like success is the narrative or happiness or wealth or just, or whatever. And then people will disclaim it with, this is for motivational purposes only or something like that. You know what I mean? But I really want to tell the truth. But the truth in these days and times, man, it's politics. Your opinion is like politics these days. So people are very selective about the way that they speak, and even myself. You know what I mean? So we have to be strategic and have to be selective about what we decide to do. You know what I mean? But I choose to be a human, as often as I can. I have to take it back because people will take it from you, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to say a lot without overdoing it, without over talking.
No. Speak your mind. What you said, people would take it from you. You felt like that happened with you. You felt like people was trying to take it at one point.
Well, it's like you go from obscurity to full disclosure. And there's no separation of church and state. You know what I'm saying? You don't own yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have you can't recluse back into yourself because you have to give it all away. You know what I'm saying? Auction it off, sell it. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to keep those amenities, if you will. The luck.
Whoa. CeeLo? I just heard a police siren and then he disappeared. I hope he's all right. Did y'all hear that siren?
I heard it clear because it just went by my house.
Oh, that's your house?
Sway.
I could have. Okay, I should have known it was Jersey.
Don't do that, Sway.
I mean, I'm just saying it was Jersey.
I'm just looking out of the window. That's all. I'm just
looking out of the window. Well, we got CeeLo Green on the line with us, but his phone seemed to have gone out. There he goes. I think he's calling again. Adam, I'll try to answer it from here. All right. Let me unlock this one. Yeah, that is him. Okay. Hold on one sec. Oh, Adam, you go ahead and oh shit, did I mess up? Okay. Technology, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about tech. He's on? Okay, cool. We got him right here. Go ahead, man. Hey, bro, we just heard a police siren, and then you disappeared. I was like, they got CeeLo.
But my bad. I know there's a lot that we can cover and address, bro. But just at the end of the day, it's just, about just maintaining that normalcy, making sure that you keep those same morals, and fundamentals that you grew up with. You know what I mean? So people think that, like the outfits and stuff like that, like it's something that's 24 hours a day. Like, no, like it is entertainment, like ultimately, like a lot of it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I wish that there's this desire for me. I wish people could know me personally. I wish I could give it all to people, but you have to hold certain things sacred, man, and keep as much of yourself intact as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I love it, man. Give this man a round of applause, CeeLo Green.
CeeLo, you spoke about, real quick, holding certain things sacred, and obviously marriage is sacred, and so you go into something like this where you are allowing cameras in to, something like that. Did you guys go in at first, or initially with a plan where we're not going to do this and we're not going to talk about that, and then as time went on, you ended up not sticking to the plan?
Yeah, actually, Shani right here with me too. That's a good question for her to kind of, Shani, just have the
Hi.
Hey, Shani.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you already know.
Y'all came on set tripping.
That's what we do.
Never said tripping. Always just representing where you from.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. If I can just interject and answer this a little bit for him, we did do that actually. We came into the house feeling like we had a full plan together. Like that was, we're gonna do this, we're not gonna do that, we ain't gonna say nothing to nobody.
Right.
We just gonna be us, And honestly, the whole energy of everybody who was put in that house, meaning just the positive and good and genuine energy. And also just the diversity of people that they put in that house, it just really made us have to break down those walls. Literally, like one house that was 6-7 bedrooms became one house. We really just had to, as they would say on marriage boot camp, and it's a term coined by Dr. Ish and Judge Toller, we really did have to lean in, because at a certain point, if you don't lean in, people are wondering, why are you here? And one thing you don't want to do is make your housemates, you forget about the cameras, but you don't want to make your housemates, nor do you want to make the professionals who have dedicated their time and their professional abilities to the show feel like you're there, trying to covet something that you actually really do need help on. And fortunately for CeeLo and I, we had a mass amount of communication issues. And it was just a breakdown that was there. So for us, being able to be better listeners was the key. And once we started really leaning in and being able to hear each other versus just talking over each other, we were working on a lot of different things at one time that we didn't even realize we were holding back as kids, So we did do that, but that went out the window on day 2. When they start putting us in the shock chair.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the element of surprise was a real thing, and the physical element, you know what I mean? Like that was also a real thing. So we were definitely there to represent, ourselves in the best light, but because of course we want to be an example, what I'm saying, like if we can, an example of humility and sacrifice, and if we can, be benefited, what I'm saying, of course that's the point. But if somebody could be blessed, in addition to that, then that's the broader scope of why we were there as well. So we definitely wanted to dignify it. You know what I mean?
Well, CeeLo and Shani are on the line. This is my brother. That makes you my sister, Shani.
I love you, bro. I love you, Sway, from day one when I first met you. Love you.
Already know. Energy's the same. Now, Tracy G is on the line, too. I know she has a question.
I do. Hey, CeeLo, thank you again for joining us. Going back to what you were talking about, hey, love, when as an artist, how you have to balance between how much transparency you give, when to honor your privacy, the facades that come with your profession, the realities that come with it. I couldn't help but think about some of the newer artists of today who have been open and honest about social anxiety, right? Like a Summer Walker, who last year ended her tour early, citing social anxiety a lot and how she couldn't coexist with this life as a celebrity and then also this life as an introverted personality. You've also heard SZA mentioned similar things, and Ari Lennox as well. Can you talk, if there are people out there, especially since we have so much access into creating a career because of Wi-Fi, but we may not have the artist development, or we may not realize how quickly a big change of celebrity can impact our mental health. What would you say to those who have social anxiety but still want to be in the spotlight?
That's a really good question. I think that platforms like Instagram, you know what I mean, they have created more stars in modern times, or more than ever. And I think that's probably, the most natural the most natural place that people kind of present themselves for the first time. And a lot of the times, even with labels today, like the A&Rs, the artist development, like those departments aren't even in place anymore. You know what I mean? So like a lot of the younger artists are finding their way, and there is this thinly veiled 6 degree of separation between the creator and the community, or the creator and the consumer. And like success could happen in the blink of an eye, and you haven't kind of prepared yourself or grounded yourself spiritually, so like mentally, and a lot of us aren't having those upbringings, and so we don't have those camps. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that village around us, to give us those perspectives. You know what I mean? Of where the wisdom could be interceded in you, and it sprouts subconsciously, and it becomes that voice of reason that echoes back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like within you. You know what I mean? Like, and causing you to be accountable. You know what I mean? Like, or conscious about, what's happening. And so it's hard to be mindful of those things. And, I think to answer your question, I do think that it does take, like what we had OGs, like we had elders, you know what I mean? Like, organized noise. Those are even Goody Mob. Like, people don't know, because I'm a lot, I've been seen as probably the voice, or the most outspoken one, but I'm the baby. I'm the youngest one out of Goody Mob. I mean, like, so, and speaking of Goody Mob, we're doing a new album right now too, and we're celebrating 25 year anniversary this year too.
Incredible.
Wow,
That's
congratulations.
incredible.
That's
Congratulations. 25 years of Goody Mob.
Yeah, so people wouldn't know that me, Dre, and Big Boy are the same age, and Cujo, Timo, and Big Gip are older than me. So like, I had the big brother vibe. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think that, people still need family, but sometimes, like art, and almost always art is escapism for people. So like, there are realities that people really want to leave. So like, this is a way to think your way outside of that situation, to think out of the box. I mean, like, to separate yourself. Hopefully that your success will take you away. So people want to go for their own reasons, and then when they're out there, they're alone with everyone, and that's it's very ironic of a disposition. But I felt it, because like something like Gnarls Barkley, like Crazy, for example. I had no idea that so many people, almost the world, would sing along with me. Mm-hmm. I thought me, as a black man, as a black artist, addressing mental health, social anxiety, depression, suicide, all of these many topics that I got to address with Gnarls Barkley, and I had to use an alias to address those things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, people, were able to view that project as a third person and not take it so intimately from me. But these were my actual thoughts, and that it ended up being my, one of the most successful things I've ever done, because I was totally honest. But I used an alter ego to convey it, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just kind of need that that mask, you know what I mean, like to wear. And it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do, and even for Summer to say that she suffered from social anxiety, I do too. You know what I mean? Even after all of my years of being in the industry professionally, like doing red carpets and stuff like that. And this is me being totally honest. They make me completely uncomfortable. I start to sweat profusely. I get panicked because I don't. I don't really do it a lot. I mean, like sometimes when I have to do it, it's kind of like my hand is forced. I don't really enjoy to do them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I have to, I have to do them, and maybe it's the pressure of doing something that I'm not so comfortable with that gives me the anxiety. But I've never been diagnosed, and it's only in that short moment. And then after a while, my body temperature will get acclimated to whatever the environment is, and I'll calm down. And then after a while, I'm comfortable. But initially, I come into it, it's like being in a fish tank. It's very unnerving for me. So I can relate to that feeling. And this, there's no way to get to it, but to go through it. So you have to kind of go through the process because it becomes obligatory. It becomes your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To serve people.
Mm-hmm. CeeLo Green is with us. Man, when this quarantine is over, you got to come in the studio with us and let's finish this conversation, man. This is amazing. We always, Shiny, you too. I'd love to have both of you in there because y'all so 100, and people are learning from your journey. People are definitely learning from your journey. CeeLo, thank you, brother. I love you, man. And I know you got the new album, CeeLo Green is Thomas Calloway. Heather, you didn't know his last name was Calloway?
You know what, Sway? I told you I was tripping.
That's my real brother for real.
That's my real brother. So, yeah.
I think people will enjoy this project too. This is yet another reincarnation of me, the artist, and I pride myself on being able to be dynamic and multifaceted in that kind of way. So like this was a really cool album that I did last year. With Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them, but they're a really successful rock band.
Yeah.
And he reached out to me, and he wanted to do a project with me. And so, like, it's like we did it in Nashville. It's kind of like me doing a country album, like some real old school, laid back Southern hospitality kind of vibe. So I think people will like it, especially now in the time that we're living in. And I just want to give a thought and of kindness and compassion to those who are less fortunate, to those who are stricken with the illness, for those who have lost, you know what I mean? Like, and for those who are feeling that cabin fever more than they're feeling anything else. We just want to acknowledge them and just say that you have love and support in people's thoughts and prayers, and this is temporary and this too shall pass. And so thank you guys for the opportunity to speak. And I love you, Sway. Anytime you need me, you let me know. OG Heather B, the love is there, sweetheart. You already know.
Love you too, family. Thank you.
And Tracy G, she loves you too. I know you love her. And the single is called "Lead Me," and it's an incredible vocal performance you've done on this. It gives me Motown, and it gives me Future Soul at the same time.
Absolutely.
And you partnered up. You partnered up with Lyft, and if guys listen, CeeLo partnered up with Lyft to launch this single. And if you are someone got a critical need for Lyft, you can send CeeLo a DM for a discounted ride code up to $10. Is that true?
It's true.
Yeah, so you get $10 off your Lyft if you DM CeeLo.
That's cool.
CeeLo, thank you for calling in, brother, and we'll talk more about the album. Okay, when you come in.
All right, cool.
All
Thank
right.
y'all for the support. All right,
Absolutely.
y'all. Peace.
Here's the...